Good evening, all the participants as well. What I'll do is take you through a session on robotics to try and understand what the subject is about. Today, almost everybody speaks about robotics, AI, and so on. So therefore, in today's world, almost every application seems to be talking about some kind of automation. And within the industry space, automation has automation is a generic terminology used, and robotics becomes a very significant part of today's manufacturing activities. Though I have said robotics is in reference to manufacturing, it has several other areas of application. In fact, in almost every single area that you can think of, robotics has its place. Now, what I'll be doing in this session is create a preamble to automation in order to really understand what robotics is all about. So we need to understand a little bit of what automation is. Then I'll take you through to robotics, talk very briefly about how a robot is understood in terms of motion, in terms of forces, and so on, which we call the kinematics and dynamics. Then I have something to inform you about control systems, which actually makes the robot do things that we see in real time. And in order to do that, it uses several actuators and several sensors. So sensors, they sense an event, give a signal to the actuators start moving, the control systems take over, and we have a robot functioning. Subsequent to that, I'll take you through to maybe a little bit of smart robotics and mechatronics, flexible manufacturing systems, and some applications. Now, in order to be indeed inform all these areas of robotics in detail, it probably will not be possible. But I'll try and take you through of enough robotics that you understand what this is all about. So when I talk about preamble to automation, there are, at the central part, there are production system facilities. There's a product design, there's a manufacturing planning, there's manufacturing control, the business functions, and all these become functional with customer orders. That's a typical manufacturing area or manufacturing space. Now, when you come to the factory operations, you deal with design, you deal with manufacturing planning, manufacturing control, and their business functions. And on the periphery, you have computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, you have computer-aided business systems, and you also have cost estimations, part planning, numerical control, and so on. Now, when we really look at the basic automation, there are three sub-areas of automation. You have fixed automation, you have programmable automation, and you also have flexible automation. And these depend on the quantity you produce and the variety you have in the production. So when we look at fixed automation, obviously it has very high production rate. Because it has inflexible design, the variety will be very small. And between the three, fixed automation costs the least. And this is an example for fixed automation. This is a fixed rotation bottle orientor. And many applications you must have maybe visited industry, process plants, and so on. So this is a fixed automation example where you can't change the automation. The entire shift, only this will be happening. The bottle will be oriented in the entire shift to a certain point. Now we look at programmable automation. Here, equipments are designed to accommodate the changes made in the system design. And this is useful, which means it has some capability of programming and changing the sequence of automation from fixed to something that's more flexible. So this is useful for batch production. It also has low production rates and is flexible with product design. So which means that you change the products and the design could be changed using programmable controllers and so on. Now this is programmable automation controller. There are several kits available in the market, which you program obviously to get at certain sequence of events, which gives you programmability into automation. So there is a significant growth that is forecast for up to 2024. The third is the flexible automation. Now here what we have is medium production rate, continuous production with variable design, which means you can keep changing the designs. High amount of flexibility is available, but the cost factor is also very, very high. Now this is the place where you have a lot of robots and robotics and several other automation devices and so on. That is how you get the requisite flexibility. Now we are looking at a flexible manufacturing center, which has several robots and so on. This is basically a continuous plant where different operations are carried out by different robots designed to do different activities or different sequence of events. Now, if you really look at relationship of fixed, programmable, and flexible automation, this succinctly captures what it is about. Now, if you look at the left side, you have fixed automation. You have very high, production volume, but very little variety, because you can't change the automation sequence that you have once set. And on the other end, you have programmable automation. You have a little more product variety, but the production capacity, the volume is fairly low. And flexible automation overlaps the two. So you have